evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this meeting of the Council of the Town of Oakville. I invite everyone to rise and join Council in the singing of O Canada. I invite everyone to join Council in a moment of silent reflection before we begin the meeting proper. Thank you, everyone. Madam Clerk, do you have any regrets?
No, we have no regrets this evening.
Great. Now, Council, are there any declarations of pecuniary interest? Madam Clerk, I see none. Council, I'd ask you how you wish to deal with the minutes of the previous meetings as listed in the agenda. Councillor Dudek moves the adoption of the minutes. Councillor Adams seconds. All in favor? Opposed, if any. The minutes are approved as read. Now, we have two public presentations and one listed delegation. And if I can find the right piece of paper, here we go. So we're going to recognize some very extraordinary people who are town staff and residents for their extraordinary personal acts of courage who've saved lives at our town facilities. Often in an emergency, it's people like this who will respond, and if you're the one having the emergency, it's people like this you could be glad respond. So you will see truly selfless acts of bravery at moments of this type when they rush to the scene and perform the life-saving first aid for those first critical moments until EMS can arrive. We have a great appreciation for people like you, and tonight we want to take just a little bit of time to formally thank you and recognize what you've done. So as I call these individuals up to receive their certificate, I want to tell you a little bit about what they did, and I believe they're going to stand across here for a photo at the end. And if I believe wrong, tell me now, otherwise that's what we're doing. So we're recognizing 4 life-saving situations. In each one, individuals had to be quick thinking, keep calm, and work together. And thanks to these men and women, all of these stories have happy endings. From the River Oaks Community Center, Bob Palu, Tony Lewis, Alan Gillard, Larry Espinola, and Janet Scarrow. When a member of the River Oaks Recreation Center Mature Adults Club suffered a cardiac arrest during a badminton game, these staff did not hesitate. The situation was critical, and together they took control. They administered CPR, they used the AED, and they called 911. That member is now back playing badminton and pickleball. Now, just to give you an idea of the strange variety of ways that life-saving situations can come to happen, from Oakville Transit comes this story. Debbie Delavadove and Connie Benner, please come up. Last November, an Oakville Transit driver collapsed to the floor as he was walking in the main hallway of the transit facility. Debbie immediately went to his side, started CPR, and directed staff to call 911. Fellow employee Connie provided assistance with the AED, and together they revived the employee. He has fully recovered following successful heart surgery. From the Sir John Colborne Recreation Center for Seniors, Nancy Beto, Julie Pennell, Nicole Wedgerfield, Catherine Hamill, and Don Lyons, who can't be with us tonight. This past January, a member of the center had a cardiac arrest while playing cards. Oakville staff Julie and Nancy and volunteer Don quickly responded to the emergency by administering CPR and the AED. Volunteer Catherine and staff member Nicole made the 911 call and helped keep the area clear of patrons for EMS. The 91-year-old member is back playing his weekly card game at the center. And from Joshua's Creek Arena, Dave Como, Andrew Brody, and Raj Kandola. When a hockey player went into cardiac arrest at the arena in February, teammate Raj Kandola began CPR compressions. Facility operators Dave and Andrew responded without hesitation, immediately using the AED, calling 911, and directing EMS to the scene. The patron was revived, transferred to hospital, and underwent successful heart surgery. I want to, on behalf of council, express our deepest appreciation and gratitude, and I'm sure that the entire town joins us in thanking you for your life-saving efforts. Now let me remind everyone and tell the public, all of town's buildings are equipped with AED. And so between our devices being in place and our staff being trained, I urge you not to have these kinds of emergencies, but if you must, you have some hope that you will be well looked after. I'm just going to stand behind you. All right, thanks very much. I said to one of the gentlemen, let's hope you're not needed again. And he said, I agree with that sentiment. It's one thing to be able to do it, but you don't really want that kind of event happening. The next thing we're doing, which is this is a really interesting event. I'm pleased to advise of a unique opportunity for the sponsorship of cultural programs and activities for downtown Oakville. In preparation for the creation of the Downtown Cultural Hub, staff has been developing a series of outdoor cultural programs and events that would support the future hub. The activities range from weekly entertainment, programs and cultural activities on Centennial Square, to a farmer's market, to one-off events. These programs would expand the many services already offered by Oakville at the Oakville Center for the Performing Arts, and it would enter us into new markets and services that respond to the many suggestions received through the Cultural Hub consultation over the last 2 years. These programs are scheduled to be launched in June and run until October. We were recently approached by Union Gas wishing to sponsor this type of programming under their Community Investment Fund. Their interest in sponsoring programs that can make a difference and the downtown cultural programming appears to be a perfect fit. The sponsorship is for the full cost of the program at $40,000. And here to present the check from Union Gas is a proud resident of Oakville, Mark Emanuel.
This is the double check.
So let's face the difference. We call this the photo check. You can flash. All right.
This is the real check.
Oh. That's the best remark I've heard yet. Thank you very much. The real check. Let there be no question about where that went. So now if you'll give your attention to Mr. Emanuel, the microphone directions are easy. Speak toward it and you'll be fine. You don't have to lean down. They'll adjust the game to get you to the room.
Thank you very much. Good evening, Mayor Burton, members of Oakville Council, and Town of Oakville staff. Again, I've been formally introduced. I am the district manager for Hamilton Halton in Union Gas. And with me tonight are two colleagues from Union Gas, Mark Cohen, who is our utility service manager for Oakville, and Susan Cuddihy, our public affairs and stakeholder relations for our major project team. Susan. We are pleased to be here this evening to take a supporting role in contributing to the Town Cultural Hub Animation Project. Over the last 6 years, Oakville has been focused on developing the strategies and plans that will strengthen the cultural presence in the downtown core and ensure the long-term viability of the cultural public facilities within Oakville. Today, we are very pleased to be able to assist Oakville in moving from planning to reality, with the funding support of $40,000 for the town of Oakville to deliver programming that will engage all Oakville residents in cultural events, activities, and socializing within the downtown core from June to October. For over a century, Union Gas have been an active member of Ontario's community in which we serve, and today we live and work in more than 400 of them across the province of Ontario. Union Gas, a spectral energy company, is committed to investing in the communities we serve through a comprehensive community relations program that includes donation to charitable organizations, sponsorship, in-kind contributions, and volunteerism. We also support local programs from annual United Way campaigns to local conservation initiatives and food banks, from programs that teach our kids about safety to ones that bring them closer to nature. We also look for ways to support our First Nation and Métis communities with the aim of building a long-term productive relationship based on mutual respect and economic opportunities. Simply put, we are investing in making life better here in Oakville and throughout the Union Gas areas where we do business. And this leads me to a popular story that I normally like to say when I'm at some of these kind of events. And this is part of what gets me really excited about doing things like this, making the community in which you do business a better place. And maybe some people have heard me say this. I'm sure Councillor Noel has heard me say this at an event, but I'm going to say it for the benefit of those who've not heard me. There was a family that came to Canada. It wasn't my family, a story of another family that came to Canada so many years ago to make Canada their new home. And for those who understand the process, you've got to go through custom clearance and immigration clearance to be fully admitted into Canada. And after this family had gone through both the custom clearance and the immigration clearance, the immigration officer said to them, welcome to Canada, make it a better place. That's why I'm really excited about what we are doing here supporting town of Oakville, is to make the town of Oakville a better place, ultimately making our province a better place, and ultimately making Canada a better place, not just for us in this generation, but for the generation that's coming behind us. And to again make Oakville livable Oakville for everybody. So in closing, I would like to thank Colin Bell, Nina Duval, and Sarah Douglas-Murray for working with us to establish this extremely great opportunity to provide the support we are doing today. Together, Union Gas and the town of Oakville will continue working to improve the quality of life both now and in the future for the residents, business, and visitors that come and live in Oakville. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Microphone. Madam Clerk, would you call the delegation?
Charlene Pluman, the Executive Director of the Downtown Oakville Business Improvement Area, read Business Improvement Area's impact, immediate impact mitigation and revitalization plans, item 9 on the April 20th Community Services Committee agenda.
Welcome, Ms. Pluman. Council looks forward to your information.
Thank you. Thank you, Council, for having me here. And as the delegate is leaving with Union Gas, I just wanted to extend my thank you to Union Gas for the support that they're showing to the downtown, Oakville in general, but to the downtown as well. It's a wonderful gift to receive. And on that note, it's why I'm here as well. I wanted to thank the staff and council. They presented a report at the CSC committee meeting that is a culmination of several initiatives that they've been putting forward, including recommendations to relieve the cost to the merchants to do patios and outdoor merchandise, things such as this exciting market, other cultural initiatives, support from the economic development to the downtown, and there was some discussion about parking meters, which culminated in an extremely quick response from the staff to get some new instructions in place already and working towards some other initiatives. So I just want to take the time to thank staff for several months of hard work that has culminated into this, and to thank them and council for recognizing that downtown Oakville needs some support, and that it's great to see this support coming forward. It's wonderful to see the community partners like Union Gas in seeing this, and I think we have some great months and great years ahead of us. So my thanks today to staff for that hard work and those initiatives, the quick response in terms of the parking meter and these other initiatives going forward, and to council for hearing and approving these initiatives. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much for those remarks, Ms. Pluman. Are there questions for Ms. Pluman? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Council, you have before you your standing committee reports from April 20th. How do you wish to proceed? Councillor Adams moves the standing committee reports. They're seconded by Councillor O'Meara. All those in favor? Opposed, if any, and the standing committee reports are adopted. We have no confidential consent items nor consent items, so we do have a very interesting and important discussion item, the 2015-2018 Draft Council Strategic Plan. Mrs. Courtemanche, I wonder if you could, I know Council's read it thoroughly, but the public watch our meetings and want to know what we're doing, and this would seem to be of great import to them, so I think this would be a great time to catch everybody up.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm very pleased that we're tabling tonight the first draft of Council's 2015 to 2018 strategic plan. Staff have been working on this since November, really, is when we started meeting as a senior management team. Obviously, we met with Council in February, and we've had some discussions through our citizen survey, as well as a public meeting that we had with staff. And just by way of context and where the strategic plan fits in, we have Vision 2057, which brings together in one umbrella framework all of our planning for the community. The strategic plan, our vision, mission, and values really are setting guiding principles that are setting directions for the next 25 and plus years, similar to Livable Oakville, as well as our integrated community sustainability plan. We have master plans that we've branded under Vision 2057 that look at the 4 to 25 year time frame. And then as we get into more concrete periods of time, we have what we're planning for this term of council, and that's what we look at within your strategic plan for this term of council. And every year you see your departmental budgets and business plans, which looks at what we're going to do in the next year. And feeding all of this information, we have a foundation that comes from public engagement. That's something that's critical to all the work that you see before you at council. We're integrated it with performance standards and measurements, so you can track our progress. Certainly the information systems and data management, the data that we get from our systems is really critical, as are employees. So they're all core foundation elements to creating your strategic plan. So as I mentioned, the senior management started working in fall of 2014, looking ahead at our master plans and what could we bring forward for this term of council. Our citizen survey helped shape those priorities, as did our session with council, and we had a public roundtable as well earlier this month, which was really helpful in that we did a little exercise with them in looking at the goals, and I have to say they aligned very much with what council wanted. It was a very good discussion. When council met at the end of February, they asked staff to take it away, and we had a few extra areas of focus. We've narrowed it down. We've grouped them together into the 5 key areas. Good governance, which brought together accountability and honesty. Environmental leadership, which we think is something that is really defining this council and this community, and that's where we were looking at preserving our natural environment as well as environmental sustainability. Economic growth, fiscal sustainability, and outstanding service to residents, which also looked at how we're improving our programs and services to our residents. So those are all outlined within the plan that was tabled today. And now we're leaving the plan with you, as we did for the last strategic plan as well. And that just gives you time to digest it and get any feedback that you want from your residents. And we take feedback. It's already up on our website, and we are directing people to provide us with any comments. We also do the same with staff so that they can provide further comments. And we'll report back to council at your next meeting with all of the input that we've received, and as well as finalizing the measures that we would have for each of those areas of focus for your approval for the 2015 to 18 plan. And then we'll be back at the end of the year with tracking our results and looking at the next year. So it doesn't sit on a shelf. It comes back to you usually once to twice a year in terms of the strategic plan itself, but it also comes back to you in your budget. You'll see how departments align their business plans with your strategic plan, and it comes to you in every single report that comes to this council, because we ask for every report to be aligned with your strategic priorities so that you can see that we're continuing to work in our day-to-day business, in our annual business, as well as for the term of council.
Thank you, Ms. Courtemanche. Questions from Councillor Adams?
Thank you very
Councillor
much,
Giddings.
and congratulations on what I think is a very well put together document. I just have one minor question or comment, or request perhaps, is not long ago, Councillor Elgar and I brought forward a request for a report on improving our tree renewal process. And we met with Chris Mark, our Director of Parks and Open Space, and he is still working through a number of issues that he's considering on it. And I see already within the key actions and a section that talks about emerald ash borer work, which is part of the issue of tree renewal and replacement. But I wondered whether we could expand upon that and make it a little bit broader to incorporate this issue of the speed and the way in which we identify trees that need work or pruning or replacement in a slightly broader fashion.
Absolutely. I'll follow up with Chris Mark, and we'll make sure that's incorporated in the draft that comes back.
Thank you so much.
Councillor Giddings.
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Burton, you mentioned that there was the public focus group and that it was fairly well aligned with council's thoughts. Could you expand upon that? Just curious in terms of, were there any aha moments or?
Well, through you, Mr. Mayor, I have to say it was a very pleasant group that showed up that night. What we had done is we put all the mission, vision, and values. We sort of went through the background on how we create goals and look at areas of priority, and we gave them all stickers so that just put up against which goals that you thought were your priorities. And some, were such priorities, they wanted to put 2 stickers beside their, their priority number 1, but they each had 5 stickers, and 4 of the 5 goals aligned with those that council had picked. The one they hadn't picked was outstanding service to residents, so I thought that was a little unusual, but they had just picked it in different areas. So they were very much supportive of what council was trying to achieve, where the town was going. So they just wanted a little more clarity, and they really wanted, a maximum of 5 was something that was really important to them, and just wanting to see the specific initiative. So we've sent them the draft that you have today. It's gone back out to them to get their feedback as well.
Thank you. And will there be an opportunity for other members of the public to provide feedback as well before it comes back on May 25th?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Mayor, we have it on the website already, and inviting people to provide content. We'll send it out. We always send things out through the residents associations and through our social media, as well as I invite councillors to reach out to their constituents to provide feedback as well.
And the deadline for that coming back to you is?
We're saying May 14th, so that we have time to compile it and report back by May 25th. Sooner the better, though.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Giddings. Yes, in business, it's often said that if you have many objectives, you have none. Councillor O'Meara?
Thank you very much for that, Ms. Cormunch, through you, Your Worship. I know that Councillor Demoff and myself had both raised the issue of tourism, and I didn't see that making its way into here at all. Is it in there, or is it something that was dropped off, or what happened with that?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'm not sure if it's not in economic growth. I would have thought it would have been in that area, but if not, we'll look at it, and it's quite possible something slipped through, so we'll make sure that we're looking at it.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. A mover and seconder for the recommendation. Councillor Adams, Councillor Knoll, all in favor? Opposed? Carried. Now, Council, we come to item number 2, the declaration of vacancy for Town Councillor in Ward 6. And you have a recommendation before you that basically asks you to provide direction. Councillor Adams has circulated a draft motion that I guess he's hoping someone will second. Councillor Adams, do you want to, or do we have a lot of seconds? Any seconds? Councillor Demoff. Councillor Adams, do you want to speak about this?
Yes, I'll, first of all, I'll read it, and then I'll speak very briefly to it. The motion is that the office of Ward 6 Town Councillor, formerly held by Max Kahn, be declared vacant in accordance with Section 2621 of the Municipal Act 2001, and 2, that bylaw 2015-045, a bylaw requiring that the Ward 6 Town Council vacancy be filled by way of a by-election, be passed. 3, that voting day be declared July 13, 2015. That the Administrative Services Committee and Community Services Committee meetings scheduled for July 13, 2015 be moved to Tuesday, July 14, 2015. So I'm going to speak very briefly about it. First of all, the issue of an appointment versus having a by-election. I think at this point in a term of council, it is appropriate for us to fill this by-election. Mississauga, ironically, is having a by-election today, and the doors over there will be closing in 32 minutes. So if you're watching from Mississauga, make sure you go out and vote. And I guess we'll see how it all turns out. Now, they've got an abundance of candidates, which shows to me that there is a great interest in trying to fill such vacancies. I've looked across a number of by-elections that have been held across Ontario over the last, I'll say, 10 years. And while I'd say the turnout rate of residents to those by-elections is slightly lower than the regular elections, I wouldn't say it's so dramatically low that it's not worth having a by-election. I think the residents of Ward 6 should have the opportunity to choose their own councillor, and so I support that myself. Second, there's the question of the timing. We've known now for a month that we'll be declaring this office vacant. We also have recently gone through an election, so I think our staff are perhaps better prepared now than they might be at some other time to run a by-election. And second, the timing of July 13th allows for a full month of nomination period to allow candidates to consider putting their names forward for consideration. July 13th is at the early part of the summer. It means that we won't be conflicting with the federal election that will be happening in the fall. And as you know, there'll be people going out for the federal election, canvassing, and I think some of them may already be out there, looking for nomination votes anyway in the local area, and certainly in the Oakville riding, there are already people who are canvassing. So the later we place this by-election, the greater the confusion we will ultimately have. And so an earlier date, I believe, is preferable from that perspective. And so I think that we've got a reasonable date here. There's never going to be a perfect date. The July 13th date will allow for early voting to happen just as the schools are finishing up their school years, and as opposed to the middle of the summer when certainly there might be more people who might be complaining about being away on vacation. So with that, this is the motion I'd like to bring forward. I hope that everyone will support it. As I said, no matter what day you pick, there'll be somebody who won't be happy, and unfortunately, we have to choose one.
Thank you, Councillor Adams. Councillor DeMoff, would you like to speak to us as well? Any other speakers? Councillor Hilger?
Yeah, I fully support what the councillor is recommending. Just one question, advanced polls, how many weeks ahead would advanced polls be so that it wouldn't really impact anyone going away on vacation? Do we have an answer for that, staff?
We would plan for 2 weeks of advanced polls.
Very much. That would be before school is out then. Thank you.
All right then, if there's no other commentary, I'll call the vote. All in favor? Opposed, if any? And that carries. Thank you, everyone. Now, Council, we need to do a little bit of committee-style work here at Council. I don't think we need to send this off to a striking committee because we may be able to settle this here, but we need to fill some vacancies on the Appeals Committee, the United Way Board, and the Region's Waterfront Parks Advisory Committee. And the recommendation is that a determination be made. So a motion might read as follows: that Councillor, fill in the blank, be appointed to the Appeals Committee until November 30th, 2015, and that bylaw 2015-47 be passed as revised, being a bylaw to amend bylaw 2014-136, a bylaw to appoint members of council to certain legislated or incorporated boards and committees. And 2, that Councillor, fill in the blank, be appointed to the Oakville United Way until November 30th, 2015. And 3, that another councillor be appointed to the Region's Waterfront Parks Advisory Committee until November 30th, 2018, and submitted to the Region for confirmation of appointment. So let's take them one at a time. Is there a councillor who'd like to volunteer to serve on the Appeals Committee? Councillor Knoll is volunteering. Is there any...
Your Worship, I'm just volunteering as a placeholder. I've done it, and I wouldn't require any spin-up time, but if somebody else wants it, they're welcome to it.
Anyone else? Anyone? All right. I need a mover and a seconder that Councillor Knoll, Councillor Hutchins and Councillor Duddock move that Councillor Knoll be appointed to the Appeals Committee, and the rest is as I read. All in favor? Opposed? It carries. The second is that Councillor someone be appointed to the Oakville United Way until November 30th. Is there a volunteer? Councillor Giddings volunteers. Is there a mover and seconder for Councillor Giddings? Councillor Duddock and Councillor Hutchins. All in favor? Opposed, if any? Councillor Giddings, you are appointed to the Oakville United Way until November 30th, 2015. Third, that Councillor be appointed to the Region's Waterfront Parks and Advisory Committee until November 30th, 2018, and submitted to the Region for confirmation. Now, Councillor O'Meara serves on this committee as a regional appointee, and for a long time it's been a tradition that Councillor Robinson serves on this. I am anticipating that he might volunteer. Let me just check. He's volunteering. Is there a movement and seconder to support this? Councillor O'Meara and Councillor Hutchins. All in favor? Opposed, if any? And that carries too. Thank you, Madam Clerk. So we didn't need a striking committee. We were able to act as a committee in council. Now you have before you a confidential discussion item, and that is in regard of an appointment to the Oakville Public Library Board. Are there a mover and seconder? Councillor Knoll moves. Councillor Hutchins seconds. All those in favor? Opposed, if any, and that carries. You have no advisory committee minutes listed for this agenda. Your information items have been circulated electronically. The status of outstanding issues is attached. And it's now time for any new business concerning a notice of motion or emergency or congratulatory or condolence. Councillor Duddick.
Thank you, Your Worship. I would ask that all members of council join me in recognizing the recent passing of one of our community's champions, Donna Messer. Donna was a deep believer in organizations that elevate the status of women. She served on the executive board for Women in International Trade, a nonprofit professional organization designed to promote women doing business internationally, and chaired Women in Food Industry Management, a group dedicated to supporting the development of professional women. She also volunteered her time with Mississauga Symphony Orchestra, served on the board of the United Way of Oakville, and supported Women in Motion, an organization supporting women-owned businesses. And she was a dedicated Rotarian and supported the March of Dimes. Donna received Woman of the Year Award from Women in Food Industry Management and an Outstanding Achievement Award from the Canadian Association of Career Educators and Employers. Donna has left her mark during the time she spent in the Kerr Village area. She never missed an opportunity to promote what the area had to offer and was frequently bringing new ideas to the table. She was truly one special woman, and she'll be dearly missed.
Thank you, Councillor, on behalf of all of us. Council, are there any regional reports or questions regarding town boards and advisory committees? Thank you. We have a number of requests for reports here. The first is concerns modifications to the leash-free area at Post Park. It's moved by Councillor Hutchins and seconded by Councillor Giddings that staff be requested to report back to the CSC, to the Community Services Committee on June 22nd on modifications to the leash-free area at Post Park to extend the westerly side of the leash-free area to the parking lot and add a double gate entrance, providing all associated costs, any impact to adjacent park usage, and public consultation. May I call the vote? All those in favor of approving the report? Opposed, if any? The report request is approved. The second is a retail petroleum products to provide warning labels on all pump handles motion, moved by Councillor Adams and seconded by Councillor Grant. That staff be requested to review materials available from Our Horizon and report on options to require vendors of retail petroleum products to provide warning labels on all pump handles. And may I call the vote on that? All those in favor of approving the request? And that carries. Next is a motion by Councillor Adams, seconded by Councillor Giddings, with regard to the regulation of taxis providing services to corporate clients outside of municipal boundaries. The report request reads that staff be requested to report on options for regulating taxis providing services to corporate clients outside of municipal boundaries. May I put the vote? All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That request is approved. And then we have one more, and this is moved by Councillor Giddings and seconded by Councillor Hutchins, and it's a request that staff report back during the next cycle with an updated status on the residential development known as Edgemere. May I put the vote? All those in favor? Opposed, if any? That request for report is also approved. We now reach the end of the agenda, except for the consideration and reading of bylaws. We need a mover and seconder for the bylaws as listed. Councillor Elgar and Councillor Lapworth. This is approval for the bylaws listed in the agenda as revised in the case of 2015-47, and everything else is as presented. So the 2015-45 bylaw is a bylaw to require a by-election to fill the vacancy for the office of town councillor representing Ward 6. I don't read the black part, right? So those are moved, and may I put the vote? All in favor? Opposed, if any? The bylaws are adopted. That completes our agenda. It's been great working with you, Council, and we are adjourned.